Have you ever lost something and thought it was the worst thing that could happen, only to realize later it was the best thing that ever did? This isn't a story about luck or fate. It's about how life quietly reshapes us through moments we barely notice at the time. This is the story of Ethan, a young man who believed losing a small silver key had ruined his life, until he learned it had actually saved it. Ethan lived a simple life in a city that never slept. Like everyone else, he was always moving, always thinking, always carrying the quiet weight of memories he never spoke about. In his pocket, he kept a small silver key. To anyone else, it was meaningless. But to Ethan, it unlocked a drawer in his apartment filled with everything that reminded him who he was. Old photographs, handwritten letters, a watch that no longer worked, all left behind by his grandfather, the man who raised him. That drawer wasn't just storage, it was safety. It was proof that love once existed in a pure, uncomplicated form. One ordinary morning, Ethan reached into his pocket and felt nothing. He checked again, then again. Panic arrived fast and without mercy. The key was gone. At first, he told himself it was impossible. He retraced his steps, searched his apartment, checked his jacket pockets, his bag, the street outside. Nothing. By afternoon, fear had replaced hope. He imagined the drawer locked forever, the memories trapped behind a piece of metal he could never replace. He posted notices and asked strangers. Days passed, and the silence that followed each failed attempt grew heavier. It wasn't just a key he had lost. It felt like the last connection to the part of his life that had ever felt safe. By the second evening, exhausted and defeated, Ethan wandered into a small cafe near the park. He sat alone, staring into a cup of coffee he didn't remember ordering. That's when a voice interrupted his thoughts. A young woman stood beside him, holding something between her fingers, a small silver key. His heart stopped. She smiled gently and said she'd found it near a bench 2 days earlier. Something about it felt important, she said. Important enough to bring it back. Relief washed over him so quickly it left him dizzy. But what followed mattered more. They talked. First about the key, then about small things, then about deeper ones. Their conversation flowed easily, as if it had been waiting for permission to begin. Her name was Lena. By the time they parted, Ethan felt lighter than he had in years. He didn't know it yet, but life had already shifted direction. In the weeks that followed, Ethan and Lena grew close. They walked through the city at sunset, shared quiet laughter, and spoke about dreams they hadn't admitted out loud before. Ethan felt alive in a way that surprised him. And then one evening, while walking together, he stumbled on uneven pavement and collapsed in pain. At the hospital, routine tests turned serious. Doctors discovered a dangerous heart condition, one that had gone undetected for years, one that could have ended his life without warning. If he hadn't fallen, if he hadn't been walking that night, if he hadn't lost the key. Ethan lay in a hospital bed, staring at the ceiling, realizing how fragile everything truly was. The smallest moment had redirected his entire future. Recovery wasn't heroic. It wasn't dramatic or inspiring at first. It was quiet, slow, and terrifying. Fear followed him home. Every skipped heartbeat echoed loudly in his mind. Nights were sleepless. Thoughts spiraled. What if the doctors hadn't found it? What if Lena hadn't insisted he get checked? What if the key had never been lost? Survival didn't feel like victory, it felt like responsibility. Lena saw it before he could explain it. One night she told him gently, "You're alive, but you're not living yet." The words stayed with him. That night, Ethan opened the drawer again. He reread his grandfather's letters and noticed something he had never seen before. They spoke often of uncertainty, of fear, of loss, but never regret. His grandfather had lived fully without guarantees. Ethan understood then that safety was never promised. Presence was. As life slowly returned to routine, doubt crept in. Ethan wondered if he had attached too much meaning to coincidence, if he had romanticized loss because it was comforting. One afternoon, sitting on the same park bench where everything began, he watched a young boy panic after losing a ring. Ethan helped search until they found it. The boy's relief was instant, and so was Ethan's clarity. Meaning wasn't something life handed you neatly wrapped. It was something you created by paying attention. Years later, Ethan would tell this story not as a miracle, but as a reminder. He would say that life didn't change because he lost a key. It changed because he stayed open afterward, because he didn't close his heart in bitterness, because he kept walking without needing answers. The key stayed with him, not as protection, but as a symbol. A reminder that loss is sometimes the language life uses to guide us. That not everything that disappears is meant to be mourned. Some things leave so that everything else can arrive. And maybe, just maybe, the thing you're losing right now, into the end of your story, but the moment everything finally begins. Thanks for watching. If this story resonated with you, please subscribe and share your own experiences in the comments. We'd love to hear them.